What's up, guys? It's Crash, and the Battlefield 6 beta is live for weekend number 2. And since betas are allegedly for feedback, I have some, and I want to hear from you guys down below on these couple topics, what we're going to talk about today that DICE just hasn't quite nailed down with this game. And I say quite nailed down because a lot of everything else within the game, we need to preface this, like, as a Battlefield community, we are so far ahead of where we were with the last couple launches in the life cycle of those games to where we are now. It's not even funny. So I think it's worth taking note that the fact we're talking about balancing changes, feature changes, and stuff like that is pretty awesome. We're not talking about, hey, could you make the game work and remove specialists that break the entire game? No, we're not on those massive subjects, but I think these are important. We're talking about that is their new advanced search function for matchmaking, as well as I don't know what to think about Rush right now in the beta. It needs some serious work. So let's talk about these things just a little bit. So the first thing, a lot of people have been harping on a server browser. And if you're fairly new to the franchise, if you're used to games and multiplayer games without match or just with that have just standard matchmaking, you might not understand the importance and the significance of it. But if you're a longtime Battlefield fan, the server browser is one of those key things that help you play the game how you want to. And I'm still running into issues where you play the same maps over and over and over again. I realize there's only like 4 maps right now, and that'll change when there's more. But you also have the fact that there's so many people coming back to the game, and I just feel like the community features are not there. I can play with 3 of my friends. I have a lot of awesome people within the community I would love to squad up with, but limiting it to an all-out warfare game and limiting it to 4 players is kind of a bummer. In the server browser days, here's my server number, everybody hop in, switch teams, get on the same team, and just have a good time, and you don't have to rejoin every time, and you just cook and go with that. What they tried to do was take a lot of what people said was where they want to play certain maps and modes, and the server browser gave you that functionality. They tried to make it into advanced custom search for matches, so we're still getting matchmaking, but I'll put it up on the screen. Basically what it does is they said this feature allows you to choose your favorite combinations of maps modes. For example, if you want to play Conquest or Siege of Cairo, then matchmaking will prioritize putting you in a match with this combo if available. Note, this is not a server browser, which is not being tested this week. So they're not testing the server browser, which will be in Portal. So official matchmaking modes and stuff like that will not be in the server browser. Right now, to get a regular match in the server browser, someone's going to have to start it and spin it up, and then you'll have those persistent servers and run through. But 90% of the people that just get into the game, want to hop in and play, are not going to use the server browser. They're going to hit matchmaking. So you're going to see this kind of stuff. But the flaws are still there to where they're going through all this stuff to come up with this custom search and things like that. While it's like they tried, it's not going to serve the purpose. If there's a couple matches, or excuse me, a couple maps that you don't like and you uncheck those, these are still preferences. You still could potentially get them, as well as there's nothing saying if you have, like 7 of the 9 launch maps you like and you have that in your pool, there's still nothing saying where the servers spin down and spin up with every match. There's nothing saying you're not going to get Iberian Offensive 4 times in a row. Like that is still a possibility even with the custom search. So this really didn't save anything. I don't understand. Like, this is not an answer to the problems with the server browser. It doesn't really change anything. With the regular matchmaking, you can already pick the mode you want to play. And granted, you can't check maps, but that's, kind of beside the point when this still is random based on the maps that you leave in there, because you could still get repetitive maps rather than server browser, learn the rotation, hop in where you want to and play all the ones you want to. And just not having the persistent server is such a bummer, because if I do want to play with more than 4 people, trying to join every single time, losing people in the server, it really stinks. And like those big times of, when Battlefield was cooking and everybody was in and together, you had so much fun and lose track of time. But now it's just like, it's really held back. Like the community features and the tons of friends playing together, the features just aren't there to support it in the game right now. And I really hope down the future, I think the best course of action, and I'm stupid and I don't understand, I'm ignorant to programming and game development, right? From behind the scenes. So I don't know how this works. But if there was a way just to see the official servers in the Portal server browser, that would be a start. Kind of combine the people using matchmaking and the server browser so we could see official DICE servers, as well as if you have enough people that stay with the match, leave it spun up, leave a persistent server going. If it drops below a threshold, they talked about how it didn't make sense to have empty servers still running from a standpoint. So don't. If they're so quick to spin down and spin up, if a server gets below a certain threshold, shut it down, move those people. But if enough people stay, it's in the server browser, people can pop in and fill those empty slots over a certain threshold, keep it running, keep some persistent servers going, and let us see those in the Portal server browser, I think would be the best case scenario that we can hope for at this point. The other thing I wanted to talk about is Rush. I only played one match, and it's pretty rough. It's really... It doesn't feel good. So I don't know if it's the combination of the small maps. If you guys play some more, I would love to hear down in the comments what you guys think could help Rush play better. But I think it's kind of a symptom of these smaller maps right now, which I don't hate as an infantry player. I've been having a lot of fun on the smaller maps even. But it just doesn't make for good modes. Conquest plays okay where you can use the whole area, but I feel like on these smaller maps, when you start breaking out little pieces of them, you really cramp space. And it is only 12v12, and some people might think on the surface that's not very many. Some of the historic battlefields of Bad Companies and Battlefield 1 had 12v12 rush, so it's kind of a historic feature. I don't think you could put any more than that. I don't think you could go to 16v16 on these smaller maps because they're already super hectic. The MCOMs feel like they're in spots where it's just not balanced at all. The sectors are really, really tight together. So even if you get to an MCOM and get it disarmed or blown up, and you go to move to the next one, the next sector, it already feels like you're just already in the meat grinder already. So the tickets, it doesn't seem like there's very many. I don't know what it is, but Rush just does not feel anywhere close to a balanced game mode right now. And I don't understand exactly what it is. I think it's a combination of all that, but I think the base issue has to be you have small maps already, and then you start breaking out sectors, things are going to get really, really, really cramped. So maybe when we see some of the bigger maps that are allegedly coming at launch, then we'll start to see some more room and Rush may play better, but I'm not exactly sure how to fix it at this point. I'll try to get some more time with it maybe and see what I think, where like maybe MCOMs could be put in a different spot or sectors could be drawn a little bit different to give people some more routes and stuff and spread things out just a little bit more. But right now, man, Rush is just like, it might need shelved right now to get worked on because it's pretty rough. But those are my issues with the game right now. DICE is really missing the mark with not having a server browser. As far as base game features, we're like 9 out of 10 with all the things that we really wanted. And it feels silly if you don't understand how the game works and how matchmaking works. It feels kind of silly to be complaining about a server browser, right? There's nothing stopping you from getting in and playing. I just feel kind of dumb if I'm talking to somebody that's newer to the franchise. And I'm also not trying to gatekeep people. If you're new to the franchise, if you're new to Battlefield, welcome in, glad to have you. But I think you would also benefit from a server browser as well once you understand how it works, the fact that they can't mess with skill-based matchmaking, the fact that you can play with more than 3 friends, the fact that you can get into the map rotation where you want to play, in the maps you want to play, and persistent servers to where you keep fighting the same people over and over, and you can kind of build some beefs in the chat and have a good time trying to fight each other. All that stuff is just missing. And the main thing for me right now is just like, I want to play with more than 3 people, man. I want to get a crew of the homies in and just run around and have a good time. And it's unable to do that because everything else with the game is great. So having more folks to get into it would be awesome. But anyway, guys, that's the video today. We need a server browser. Rush needs significant help. Let me know in the comments below how you think we can fix it. Thanks for hanging with me, and I'd love to see you next time.